Hey guys, this is Awesome John 22 coming today with another review, and today we are taking a look at Menasor, finally, and we're going to get things started up by transforming Motormaster here into his Combiner mode, which I've not shown off. It's the only part of Combiner Wars Optimus Prime that I have not shown off. What we're going to do is we're going to start by rotating his head back into his body. Next, we're going to take his arms and we're going to rotate them around and bring them up, and you can see they will sit, this little lip here will sit above this joint, and this peg here will attach into a slot there. It takes a bit of force, but it slots in just fine. So we're going to fold his fist back just so it isn't so apparently a fist from the front. And of course, we are going to do the same thing on both sides, like so. Next, we are going to take his legs and rotate them around, like so. Almost forgot what I was doing there for a second. Next, we're going to turn them like so. And what you're supposed to do is bring it up like this, then bring this panel up, like this, rather. Bring this panel up and attach it there. It slots in. This tab here slots into this slot here. I don't do that. I bring it down one lower and roughly like this, let's say, and bring his legs down, his hips down a bit more than on the official transformation. If you don't like that, sue me. But it makes him a bit taller and a bit better proportioned in his combined mode. But there's that. Then you bring this down and sit it about right there. It doesn't peg in anywhere, but it sits about right there. Split open the chest and bring up the head and rotate his little horny horns. I apologize for that. Into place, like so. And there you have Motormaster in his Menasor torso mode. And just real quick, show off the head. Does have a pretty fantastic range of motion, though the joint is a bit odd. It still works out to be something perfectly reasonable in my opinion. Next up, let's take a look at how Blackjack combines. We will just take him and return him to his car mode, which is pretty simple. This is his weapon, obviously. And there we go. We have him in his car mode, which there we go. Just make sure everything is snapped into place. And next we're going to take his weapon. We're going to take these tabs here and just use them to attach the weapon to the top of his vehicle mode, like so. And then bring in Motormaster and just slot Blackjack onto the chest. And it's pretty loose. You can see it falls out pretty well. But you have to give it a good shake for that to happen. It's not something... you have to angle it the right way and give it a decent shake. It's not something that's just going to happen on its own. And while I think it could have been done better, I don't particularly mind it. I think it works out okay. And from here, we are just going to take his limbs and attach them to our preferred positions. You can see the legs just slide right into the front of his upper leg pieces. And the arms simply slide down into these slots on what is now the top of his shoulders. And there, finally, we have Combiner Wars Menasor, and I hope now you can see why I prefer these limbs where I prefer them. You can just see there's a much better symmetry to the figure than if we had Dead End as an arm. He can, of course, hold his sword, and it looks pretty good. It's a pretty decent size in his hand, you can see. And I also like to give him drag strips, little gun sword, as a sort of parrying dagger to hold in his offhand. Overall, though, there are a lot of people who really seem to take issue with the look of this figure, and I don't have those same issues. I like the look of this guy a lot. He certainly doesn't look like Menasor from Generation 1. but I don't see that as a bad thing. In fact, I quite like the updated look. It's one of the things I liked about Classics. He definitely stays true to the original intention of the character, while also bringing something very new to the table. And while there are times when I just really love a G1 update, there are also times when I feel like a figure can be a lot better. And I don't know if Menasor is actually one that I ever felt that way about, but looking at this guy, I just really love this aesthetic. So as I said in my Motormaster review, if you just don't like the aesthetic of this guy, there is a third-party figure available. I can't remember the name of it, but I will try to remember to link to it on Big Bad Toy Store in the description down below. If it's really such a big deal for you, pick that guy up, and he will complete that G1 aesthetic for you. But if, like me, you like this figure, pick it up. Well, pick up all of these figures and then put it together into this figure, technically. But these guys are great. I recommend all of them. It has a few flaws, definitely. But none of them are anything that you can't work through. I feel like this figure is, while inferior to Superion in terms of screen accuracy, the actually better looking, still a better looking combiner. And of course we will get a comparison between this guy and Superion, but not until we've gotten a look at the full Superion, which I do now possess. So next review will be a review of Superion's final missing limb, an update to Superion, and a comparison between the two combiners, which have been released so far. But as for this review, it is about over. I hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Whether you did or didn't, please help me out, like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you feel so inclined. In the description down below, you'll find a link to all of the other things I'm working on, including a link to my collection video. Check that out. And if you see anything in it that you'd like me to review, let me know and I will see what I can do. This has been Awesome John 22, and I will talk to you guys later.